Hello, everybody. It's Narrative Tarot. I'm here for the Uranus May 2021 tarot reading. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I do monthly readings like this. These readings are planet readings, so if you have significant aspects in your chart with regards to a planet, then definitely these are the readings for you. I don't do traditional zodiac readings just because I feel like astrology is more of where I'm going. So, the planet is Uranus. If you want to tune in because you're an Aquarius, then that's fine, or Aquarius aspects, that's fine too, but it's mainly Uranus for the planet. Now, commenting, like I said, and subscribing and stuff like that just builds engagement. It lets YouTube know that people actually enjoy the content, and so it recommends it to more people, and then more people watch it and things like that. So it definitely helps, but it also keeps you in the loop about what I do, because I don't just do monthly readings. I do impromptu readings, a little astrology bits, musings, book reviews, things like that. And so it's not just card tarot content. But yeah, so spiel over. Let's get into it. So Uranus is currently in Taurus. So if you do want to watch the Venus reading, you can. It's not about love per se. It's just whatever topics come up. So we have two readings that I generally do, and this is the first one. I'm using the Phantasmagoric Theater Tarot. And so here we go. The upper world is the Queen of Wands, and then the lower world is the Six of Swords. And so for Uranus, it will be. I have all these like holes and stuff in my shirt. Just like holy shirts. Anyway, so for May 2021, Uranus. The upper world, or more high vibrational being, would be the Queen of Wands. The more low vibration, or the lower world, would be the Six of Wands. So to me, with the Six of Wands, this looks like a smiley face, so an eye, and then the beginning of a smile that stretches around. So I would say that May 2021 may pull you into some things with regards to Taurus, so definitely you might want to look at that Venus reading. Pull you into some things, or just things may be calling you from like the basement, and when they do, you gotta know how long to stay in the basement. I think the Queen of Wands to me kind of feels like she's contemplating even going down in the first place. Yeah, she's contemplating going down there in the first place. And so we have the Four of Swords, Three of Wands, and then the Queen of Cups. This could be to find your emotional security or find your emotional salvation or something like that. And you have to go down into the basement, into the depths to like get it. But for most of you, I think there's something in the basement that is emotionally luring you. I don't know if it's of you. So it could be people like triggering you and things like that, or coming up to trigger you. We have the Knight of Swords. So whoever it is or whatever it is, it knows what it's doing. It's been trained to do this. It's been set to do it. It's been pulled and called to bring this opportunity, whether it be for growth, I don't know, but like it seems like it's been called and it's going to happen. I don't know how soon it's going to happen. This is Seven of Swords, so it may have some sort of deception around it. It may have some sort of Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. It's some sort of mental play with Uranus. Something that is going to be extraordinary when it gets overcome and bring like new opportunities and things like that. But that will force you to go down into the basement in places that, and deal with boxes of things that you really don't want to deal with. So it depends on how clear and open your basement is. And this is just like kind of like the metaphor, kind of thing that I'm describing. Like, it's more of your emotional space, but it's stuff down there that you may not have seen in a long time. And when you get down there, you're going to be asked to evaluate why it was so scary in the first place, why it was so scary, why does it repulse you, why does it scare you but draw you back. Another thing would be to figure out with the Three of Swords how intriguing it is to where you can't look away, how intriguing it is to where you can't stop the train wreck, essentially. So how you spiral it out of control into something. How do you know when someone's got you in a game of deceit or in a game of self-doubt or something like that that takes your energy away and makes it a show that you're paying for with that Ace of Coins? How is it doing that? And that's more of what you need to figure out, as opposed to the thing itself, because you already know the thing that's triggering. The real moment to solve, the moment to get out of the Eight of Swords, is to figure out why is it pulling you back. It's not even a look at the lesson. It's just like you're trying to figure out the mechanisms of how it pulls you back and what it does. So pay attention to words, pay attention to actions, pay attention to thoughts that creep up, pay attention to place. Place may bring you back, smell may bring you back. Uranus is in Taurus right now, which means that things that bring on revolutionary changes are probably more likely in your immediate environment, hence this basement theory that I'm talking about, your mental environment or your physical environment. But it's also there for you to figure it out, and it'll give you clues in a very tactile way. It's not something where like you have to see beyond the veil with like a Pisces, or you have to be maybe in a specific area of your life with regards to like health or work or something like that, like a Virgo, or the home, like a Cancer. Like, it can be anywhere, because anywhere you can receive this enlightenment and anywhere you can receive this ingenuity. It doesn't matter, and it can be in the most mundane things that this occurs and happens and helps you. And so looking for that, but specifically looking for things that give you the creeps. They give you the creeps but are intriguing, right? They give you the creeps but they're intriguing, or they're cycles that you would rather avoid, or they're the part in the video game where you open the door and that creepy face is looking at you and you slam it, or before you slam it they grab you, or something like that. There's like maybe a digital element to this. It could be digital spaces that you enter into where you don't feel comfortable, or chat rooms, or just things like that where like there's a sinister element to all of this, but it's something that you're still addicted to and you can't stay away. And it could be something quite integral that gives you not peace, but it gives you some sort of, I was going to say sobriety, but some sort of in. And it's something that you may, with this Ace of Coins here, it's something that you may pay to try and figure out. Like, it's something that you may really opt your energy into actually figuring it out. So whatever it is something that you have opted into, something that you subscribe to, something that you've paid for, most likely with Taurus being there. And it's something that you can continue to pay so long as you're trying to figure it out. And then once you beat the game, so to speak, because the Knight of Swords is the game itself beating you, but once you beat the game, then you can move on. And paying money is with your energy and your willingness to explore it. It has nothing to do with like actual money, but it could be like actually something you're subscribed to, or actually something you're enrolled in, or something like that. That does require money, but the expenditure of energy to figure it out is more of what I'm describing. But it is something that's very intriguing. It's something that also people who have had the same experience may fail to overcome for some reason. I don't know if it's like an addiction, but it seems like it's something that creates a gamer's mind. So I don't know if there's a certain or particular action that you do that produces a gamer's mind. I'm kind of getting this sense that, like, for people, like, whenever they're challenged, they may hear gaming slides, or they may hear like video games specifically. They may hear that kind of stuff. That may be something that goes in their mind when they're getting stressed or something like that. It's something that is intriguing. It could be a Rubik's Cube. It's like it has the pattern of a video game, of how you go through a video game and you have all this stuff. It produces that sort of high, but it's like the way that you go about it is like a video game. Or it could be like a Rubik's Cube, where things are constantly twisting and turning and twisting and turning, and you're trying to figure it out. It's like the way it's the process of playing a video game. It's the process of picking the right doors and running away and learning how to use I don't even know what it is, the console. I don't play video games, but the console, how you wire yourself to play the game, that is the same process that you need to get out of this. The same way you process the Rubik's Cube and doing all the calculations in your mind of which ways to turn and how many moves you have left before all the white are in this one, all the red are in this one, all the green is that one. Like, that process is what is going to help you with this. It's not something where, like, somatically, like, you can cry it out, like, you know, like, this isn't like a Cancerian. I know Cancer is like, I'm a Cancer sign. I know Cancerians are so fucking tired of that. But it's not one of those things where you sit and you sit and you wait for it. It's like you're sitting, but you're intrigued and you're taking the time and the space to figure it out. And it's something that's drawing you in and intriguing you about it. Whether it's the abilities of the players or the ability of this thing that you see outside of yourself as being an opponent, seeing its, not virtue, but seeing its strength and ability to strategize and ability to go against you is something that you're admiring, as well as trying to figure out how to beat. But I think there's more of an admiration here. So it isn't really like dire with, you have the Tower under this, but it's not dire to where if you lose the game, you'll be snuffed out, like, emotionally or anything like that. But it is something that's quite serious as far as trying to get to the next level of something. And you can't get to the next level unless you beat this one. And it's just a process you're trying to figure out. But it's a very mental process, trying to figure it out. And you have the Tower under that. So, and the High Priestess under that. But yeah, that, it's a very cerebral kind of thing. So you might actually want to play your favorite video game, because it could be something that's very instructional for you, that helps you to move forward, and it's going to help you process this. So think of whatever problem it is like a video game. Literally create your own video game. Literally move forward like that. Make your own video game or your own Rubik's Cube of this problem. So the problem, you can create the problem in the video game and work backwards from where you beat it. Or you could start where you are with the problem, right the end is you solving it, and then find your way through. You could also be very tied to mazes at this time. You may find that you have a lot of mazes show up in your life, whether you do them or whether you could do Sudoku as well. You could do Mahjong. It's just something cerebral about how you're solving things. Like, it's like intriguing to you. I don't know if you like keep getting like reset or something like that. Like you get to a certain part and you like get found out in the video game, or you hit a snag in the Rubik's Cube, or you hit a block in the Mahjong and you gotta reset yourself. That reset is something that you keep resetting yourself in the same way, but that reset may launch you onto a new path of how to do it. So that's where the Uranus kicks in, because it produces a different effect this time. So I would say for this month of May, play your favorite video games, watch people play video games, study how video games are made, I guess would be something. Study how Sudoku books are made, like the actual like boxes of numbers, the actual grid itself, how it came to be, like stuff like that. You could look up the people who won Sudoku and like national challenges or Rubik's Cube challenges or video game challenges. You could look up the hacks of how to play video games. It's something about that like relates to how you're supposed to solve a problem, and the level of difficulty of a problem relates to a level of difficulty that you're having with a certain video game or a certain Rubik's Cube or Mahjong or Sudoku or some sort of like game type thing. This is the second part. This is the secret Dakini. And when I find the book, I'll definitely like effing like read it, but like I don't have the book right now, so this is gonna be intuitive. Okay, so we have Serpent Power. We have Fire of Sacrifice, and we have Transformation. You actually might sell some of your games at this time once you beat them, and I think it'll be representative of you beating that portion of your life, that time in your life. You'll actually feel really good. You might have games where there's a cobra in there or volcano. You may live around volcanoes. I know they've been really active as of late. It may be a game where you're looking for treasure in a desert or something like that, but there's something where there may be a snake in the game or a snake-like figure that appears in the game. So if you're playing a specific game or you're looking at a specific game or magazine or whatever it is, you'll know what it is because it'll have like snakes prominent on it, or some sort of fire element as well. And so that serpent energy is trying to slither around to find a solution, but it's like you're trying to figure out the solution. You're supposed to use this serpent's power of weaving and bobbing and being very flexible to figure out things, but having the potency of fire, lightning, and the potency of this, I believe this is a ruby, that really raw potency of power of putting your all into a game or putting your all into an event to take it over. And it's not gory or anything like that. Like there's no Mars energy with this. It's like a mental Mars energy. So you may actually have Mars in Aquarius, or Mars Uranus conjunct or something like that. It may be opposed or square, but it probably is conjunct, or both are in like Aquarius. But there's just something about this that lets you know what game you're into. It lets you know what game you're playing. It lets you know what kind of opponent you're against. It lets you know what kind of essence your opponent has. So it's not that your opponent is easy to deal with, but it's easy to deal with. Like, it's easy in hindsight, perhaps. Mm-hmm. So you'll feel like this really raw energy come throughout you, some sort of exhilaration that comes throughout you, flows through you when you're getting closer to beating it, when you're getting closer to alchemizing whatever this experience is. You'll feel it in your body. You may start to sway a lot as well. You may start to feel very limitless in that way, very I was gonna say unbony, but like you'll start to kind of like slither about, or you'll take on those characteristics around certain situations where you feel like is a part of this game that you're trying to solve. You may start to act like that. So people may call you a snake. You may start wearing snake skin stuff. You may be attracted to snake skin stuff all of a sudden. Maybe attracted to red all of a sudden, orange, but most likely red, or some sort of music that embodies like snake charming, lightning, volcanic, just fire kind of element type things. So you'll kind of figure it out that way, and you'll kind of start to embody the snake as this progressive. And as you gain more power, you'll start to feel it. It could be a Kundalini awakening, but it feels more like just the gaining the knowledge and the power. It may not feel so tremendous until you solve it and you put it to bed. Like, I can just see a huge release of like chemicals in your brain. In your brain when you figure this out. Like, the build up to this is quite explosive. So you actually may become overwhelmed with how you, like, when you get this, you may actually exhibit behaviors of like a severe like mood swing or something like that. Like, when you get this, like, there's just something, it's euphoric, but it's kind of like, it almost feels dangerous. Like, when this happens, probably don't like drive. Don't, if you take any recreational stuff, don't do that. Don't drink. Don't, just ride it out, but like stay home, because I feel like that energy needs to like wear off through your body and not with you interacting. Because if you interact with people, it may overpower them and it may unsettle them in a way that causes like violent reactions. And you may, I mean, if you want to engage in that, you're an adult. But engaging in that isn't the greatest. Or you may experience someone close to you like experiencing this. Like, you may be watching them go through this. But it's very potent and powerful. And I think that you just want to be in a space that's neutral and calm as far as your own environment, and then you being the thing that energizes, as opposed to going out, being in a stimulating environment, and then being around stimulated people, and then you're stimulated, or being around people who aren't stimulated and you're stimulating them in the outside world. Like, whatever you need to stimulate within your own environment, because the reaction to what you're doing can be very much perceived as a power struggle or some sort of oppressive force to other people who may not have so strong of a reaction to their own eureka moments or their own experiences. And this fully embodied like passion or euphoric knowing, euphoric eureka, is just too much for people. And so people may end up being really weird around you when you have these moments. So just know that. Okay, that's it, Uranus. I hope that you enjoyed this May 2021 reading. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.